No, what you say that you're not, you know, carrying any agenda to campaign for Modi or, you know, cheerleading his march to progress or whatever it is. It would be, I mean, I'm sure people would be able to accept or acknowledge that if you did not defend the indefensible, which you have often
like
done,
what?
such as
Which is
50 crore girlfriend remark. I'm just saying.
But
now,
I said put the whole, did you read my whole article, the whole speech?
Yeah, I actually have the your
Did you
quote
read the
on
whole
this.
speech?
His whole speech?
Yes,
No,
I
but
translated it.
but
I'm sorry. I'm saying read the whole speech. I'm not defending it. I said it's a very inelegant way of putting it, but put in the context. And I think it
why
is.
do you have to
no, I'm sorry.
qualify that? That's what I'm saying.
I'll tell you why I have to. Because the media is guilty of criminal bias. Criminal is the word I'd put. Because he's raising important issues.
Are you overcompensating the other way?
No, 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 no. I'm saying put it in context and then whip him.
So you're saying he does deserve to be whipped for that, but
no,
in the current context.
Not whipped because, wait, again, look at what he's called. He's called a scorpion. He's called a fastest, Milsovik, flaunt him. I mean, there isn't a filthy, vicious word that has not been hurled at him. And tell me who has been held to account for unleashing so much hate campaign against him. Systematic hate campaign. People feel pious doing it. You don't do that to elected representatives. You have no idea what kind of anger.
You think, I mean, I think, in fact, you do that to elected representatives, all the more reason. I
you
mean,
call them mass murderers before the court has indicted them?
No, no,
you call for their head before the court. All the courts are exonerating him.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm merely saying that that is a part of the territory. That's all I'm saying.
Has Sonia Gandhi been grilled for calling him the kind of names she called when she went to Gujarat? Not Muatka Saudagar was the mildest thing. It just caught on. Many other things. What Digvijay Singh says about him. He's the darling of the media.
Digvijay Singh is not the darling of everyone.
When has he been grilled and treated with that kind of hostility? Tell me.
Okay.
He may have become a little bit of a laughing stock because he's going overboard. But what even Abhishek Manu Singhvi, Mani Shankar Iyer, the kind of poison. Mani Shankar is a very dear friend of mine, mind you. But I feel horrified at the vocabulary Mani Shankar uses to trash his opponents, in particular Modi. And has he ever been grilled?
If that's
no, I'm saying, and in that context, 50 crore girlfriend is a very trite joke and during an election campaign.
For a person who is so sensitive and has worked on gender issues, and I'm not using the word feminist consciously, but who has worked in that space, I would think that
but
that
the rest
would
of
be.
the speech is so sensitive in dealing with
but
life
we're not talking
and death.
about the
No,
rest of
I'm
the
sorry,
speech, ma'am.
please.
I'm just saying.
I'm talking about the rest of the speech because the media doesn't want to. And just don't put me into that flimsy territory. He's talking about what it means to be a rural woman who has to fetch firewood.
Right.
What he was trying to do by supplying piped gas
but
to
no one's
every rural
criticizing
household.
that.
No, but nobody talked about it except me. Tell me one TV channel.
Which is fine.
I'm sorry, it's not fine.
No, it's fine that you should.
I'm sorry, why did the whole.
I'm saying it is fine that you speak
no,
about that. That's okay.
Please
I'm
listen
saying
to
they're
me
two
first.
separate things.
Let me finish.
Okay, but they're just two separate things.
Please let me finish. The day this 50 crore girlfriend issue
exploded onto our screens.
I was one of those invited by TV channels to comment on it. And I said, I never comment on the basis of a phrase or two. I didn't expect anything better. It doesn't sound good. I want to hear the whole speech, which is what I do. If you ask me to comment on a court judgment, I will never do so unless I've read the whole court judgment. Okay? And journalists expect you, phone pe bata ke, they expect that you will start emoting. I don't do that. So I said, send me the whole speech. They wouldn't send me the whole speech. They said, just these 2 sentences. I said, no, sorry, I can't. If I find the whole speech, I will read it and then comment on it. And I luckily did find it on Google. This is the first time I ever heard Modi live on
recorded
social
speech.
media. Yeah, recorded speech. I'd never paid any attention, never heard him before. I was stunned. I was horrified that he is raising such important life and death issues for a democracy. You have no attention for that. You only pick up 50 crore girlfriend, and there too he's saying, he's talking in the context of Congress party being in the habit of rewarding corrupt ministers. Now he could have used a better phrase, but the point he made was not irrelevant. But the rest of the speech,
the same logic
I
can
don't
be
care,
used
but for you, three words are more important.
Not for me.
It seems so. Why would you even waste your time, not look at the rest of the speech? Tell me, even after my writing, which media channel investigated why the centre stopped through an ordinance the Gujarat government from supplying piped gas, cooking gas to every rural household. Is it not a life and death issue? Do you know what it means for women to tread 5 kilometers, 3 kilometers every day carrying firewood? And a man who cares about it, wants to do something about it, I think to me is a real hero for women. And a minor indiscretion is not, I mean, and I've never been a touchy, overzealous feminist, you know.
Right.
I think
I've read that.
I mean, I don't even call myself a feminist. I think I'm conscious of that. Overboard.
I just want to put the same
not
logic.
Dealing with real hardcore issues.
Yeah, I just want to put the same logic back which you mentioned a while ago. And I'm just trying to point out an inconsistency there, that you said the very uncouth way in which Mani Shankar Iyer addresses people. I'm just saying vicious. And
my very dear friend.
Yeah,
Mani Shankar Iyer.
But that same logic, I mean, the logic you are using to say this is a bad thing. In Mani's case,
but Mani is consistently vicious.
But you're reversing that logic in the
one
second, ma'am, 1 second. You're reversing that logic in Modi's case, saying in that case, don't see the word. There could have been better words. But see the substance. That same logic could be applied to Mani or anybody else.
Mani is consistently vicious, out of control, okay, and so biased, so jaundiced, that he only sees a Rakshas in Modi.
Okay, now moving out of Mani, and then let's get back to the media.
If Mani could see Modi as a normal human being and a normal politician and could deal with him at that level, I would forgive Mani a lot of his indiscretions, which I used to. You can see, I still consider Mani a dear friend, simply because
I'm not sure he would.
It doesn't matter. No, I say a friend once is a friend.
Forever.
Forever. I mean, and we've had a very warm friendship.
Right.
So it doesn't mean that I demonize Mani simply because I see his role vis-a-vis Congress party and the manner in which he deifies the dynasty, and the manner in which he demonizes this big challenge.
Narendra Modi.
No, it's the biggest challenge Congress party has faced, which is why it's going crazy. I think you can see the desperation.
Okay, ma'am, one second. I just want to come back to one more issue on.
I want to put it on record. Very senior officers in the police, in the intelligence, in the bureaucracy have told me that so desperate is the Congress party to implicate Modi in some or the other phony case, just have him have 1 or 2 FIRs, no matter how flimsy, how foolish the case, in order to push him out of the prime ministerial race, that if they don't succeed, they might even assassinate him. That's a real
My
fear.
God,
no,
come on. That's paranoia.
It's on record. No.
Okay.
People, I have heard it from.
But anyway, for now, they needn't worry because Advani is doing their job.
No, assassination, no, the kind of, you see, the kind of hate campaign you've unleashed, I won't be surprised if some crazy, hot-headed Muslim decides that it's his duty to rid this earth of this demonic force.
Let's just come back to the more. Let's come back to what is really happening on ground. A few a week or whenever, a few days ago, when this whole Modi Advani tamasha took place. One second, ma'am, one second. My question hasn't come yet. When that entire thing happened, I saw your Twitter feed, and in every studio for like 3 days, our television anchors got their prime time, viewing. They got on the whole Modi Advani thing. I mean, when they have a hot topic like that, मतलब 4 घंटे का आपका निकल गया debate. But you, considering you have done this big research on Modi Nama, which in my view is a little badly positioned.
I will gladly change, and thank you for pointing out.
But
that
You were not invited to any of these panels where I'm assuming for someone who's done so much research on Modi would have a lot to contribute. Why do you think that is?
Not only am I not invited to any of the panels today.
First of all, how are people invited to panels? I want to know.
None of the newspapers will publish anything by me anymore.
Have you sent anything?
Yes.
And they don't publish stuff by you anymore?
Dainik Bhaskar still does, but not on Gujarat or on Modi.
Why do you think that is?
No, they don't want.
You mean everyone is subservient to the UPA?
There is very tight control. Why is it that they pretend as if it doesn't happen?
Why weren't you invited? Because I remember you were on a panel with Veer Sanghvi, there was you, there was Sanjay Jha.
Yes, one time.
Long time ago. That wasn't during this tamasha,
headlines today.
But after that, none. First of all, how are people invited on panels? Like, for example, why is Sohail, on so many panels? So I just since you were on panels, I just want to know what is it that
I'm saying a lot of it is that South Delhi cocktail circuit.
I see. So then you're an expert in anything. Okay. So why would
then you're an expert. I'm not part of South Delhi cocktail circuit. I know a lot of people in it, but I'm not, one of those buddy relationship with.
Because you tweeted about that to Barkha that you're having discussions about this. Yeah, I mean, so what answer did you get?
I told Sagarika also. I told them all. I said I'm really surprised. I'm one of the few to have actually traveled to so many villages, so many districts, tribal areas, Muslim villages, and interviewed a cross section of people. And it's an ongoing process. I do have.
No, but why? Why do you think you're not?
You
invited?
tell me. It's
I don't
know.
We invite everyone. You're on our show. I mean, News Laundry invites everybody.
Yeah, but News Laundry is not mainstream media.
Yeah.
News Laundry has a different role.
Yes, no, you're saying you tell me. I don't know. So I'm just saying you might know.
It's obviously that. See, I represent. It's okay for a Swapandas Gupta to be invited because he's clearly identified as BJP. I have a track record of being non-partisan. I've always occupied that space. I don't even have a track record of being pro-BJP because I've written extensively anti-BJP.
And you've just acknowledged that you voted Sybil. So.
Absolutely. Even in the earlier election, I voted Congress, whoever was the candidate.
Who are you going to vote this time?
We'll see.
Assembly, Delhi Assembly.
We'll see who the candidates are. A lot depends on who the candidates are. We don't know. I certainly will not vote Vijay Kumar Goyal.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Definitely not.
Okay.
And I would wish him defeat if he is put up as a chief ministerial candidate. I will truly pray for the defeat of BJP in Delhi, no matter who comes alternatively. Now, the point that I'm making is this. Because I have I've occupied that space.
The neutral space.
The neutral
so they don't want a neutral voice talking.
They don't want a neutral voice. They want this cockfight between pro and anti, people who are pro BJP and labeled as such, acknowledged as such, and those who are not. And they don't want, and the fact of the matter is a lot of people have told me, if you are saying it, we will have to reconsider, Otherwise, a lot of people had bought this lock, stock and barrel.
Do you see anything wrong with Modi?
I don't know him well enough to say, but all I'm saying is…
As a politician in governance, I mean, I'm not saying anything wrong with Modi.
No, I'm saying his record of governance is…
You see nothing wrong with him. This is what must… This is what must stump people that, dude, come on, you can't…
No,
this is almost like…
It's work in progress, okay? Everything is work in progress. But when you read about it, my next series of articles are on governance, okay? The point that I'm trying to make is there's nothing called perfection. हमारे यहाँ तो भगवान भी 16 कला संपूर्ण नहीं होते. Perfection की कोई बात नहीं कर रहा. But it's a work in progress.
I've seen a documentary film by Rakesh Sharma. I don't know whether
I haven't seen it.
But there was one which he had done Final Solution, but after that on lignite mining in Gujarat. I'm just saying that he had documentary evidence of while there's development happening, how villages are completely being just translocated because of there's lignite there, there's coal there, so they are picked up in trucks, dumped miles away, and their lands are taken away for mining. It is happening. All I'm saying is that
I will gladly,
it's not like it's not. I'm just saying that if you say that it's not. That there's nothing wrong.
I'm not saying that, but I said my work is also, in progress. It's not finished.
I have one last question, and a very simple answer to this question can be why not. My question is, for someone as accomplished as you with these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 awards, you know, with journalism, just a second, for someone with these kind of accomplishments and this academic work behind her, of all the things that you could have chosen to research, why Modi?
See, I take up issues when I think people have gone overboard, whether it's the dowry issue, domestic violence. You see my critique of, for example, some of the laws that have been enacted ostensibly in the name of women. You will see a similar running thread. Similarly, Khap Panchayats. Do you know that I am in the Supreme Court defending Khap Panchayats? I am appearing in person.
I've read your views on the whole Taliban.
And read my petition to the Supreme Court, intervention petition.
Yeah. So why Modi? I was just saying.
No, people can say why Khaps, because when you go overboard in demonizing social groups, in this case a whole society was being demonized for the wrong reasons, without understanding. People who had never heard the word Khap, couldn't spell it, had no clue hai kya cheez, ye khap wap kya.
So do you always take the contrarian view?
No,
is that
no. What did I do? When I was just as with the 50 crore girlfriend.
No, I can understand.
No, please let me finish. Just as with the 50 crore girlfriend, when the Khap issue came up, honor killings, I was asked to opine on it. What did I do? Instead of going and doing Hai Tauba on TV channels, I called a meeting of Khap leaders. We had extensive dialogue, all video recorded, and tried to understand what are they saying, what's their role in it, what are the issues through their eyes, because, and I did the same thing when there was Roop Kamar Sati. I didn't join the feminist bandwagon and just going, on the attack mode. I went to the village, tried to understand, and you will see on every issue, including on Kashmir, I never comment till I have looked at issues personally. I would never do it on the basis of NDTV reportage. Okay.
Why NDTV?
I mean, that's an example. It's supposed to be the most credible news channel, and I think it's really
that's a compliment
gone.
for NDTV.
It's gone so low.
Sorry,
in its credibility. No. It's supposed to be. I said it started off as it's supposed to have set standards, and I think it's gone so wrong.
Okay, so just
and I've seen it
I understand you took up this whole gender issue during the dowry because it had become an epidemic.
Every issue, I'm saying
an epidemic. So you took that up
when
for
I took
research.
Up property rights
but what
issue,
I'm saying is in today's India,
no,
I'm just let me finish my question, ma'am. Just a second.
When I said property rights,
I can see why you take up that issue, because it is obvious in Indian society, women and especially brides in that context, it was a huge problem. In India, that was one of the big problems of India. If you take up the whole Khap issue, the clash between the value system of rural India and the more liberal Western influenced urban India clash, I understand that you take that up. So I can see why you pick that. So in this entire canvas of India where there are 1,000 problems, someone with your accomplishments here picks up Modi, that's all.
I think this is the big epic battle of today.
Really?
Yes, and I really think the future of Indian democracy is linked to how this issue is fought out. If the corruption,
you're putting Modi
no, it's not to do with Modi. It's to do with a whole coterie of academics claiming to be liberal, intelligentsia, journalists claiming to be the voice of free India, and chowkidars of our democracy, the fourth pillar, actually acting as hatchet men and women for the Congress party. And right now, everyone knows that the real challenge to the Congress party and dynastic rule in the Congress party comes from Modi. He is the only one capable of giving an effective fight. That they know it, which is why they are going crazy. See, if he wasn't, if he was only a little regional satrap, why would they be so worried? Why would they go berserk and be so paranoid and try to prevent him from being named as Prime Minister? Why should Barkha Dutt or Rajdeep Sardesai or anybody else emote over it? How can you name his? which party names who as their prime ministerial candidate has never been an issue.
I don't think they voted over this.
Days on end.
Yeah, I mean they were discussing it because it was a topic of discussion.
Has it ever happened before? Which party names who as their campaign leader? None of your business. The Modi phobia shows that there is real fear, because Modi today represents genuine far-reaching governance reforms, systemic reforms. He is not just a man who delivers fancy speeches. And secondly, he also represents end of coteries. Why is it that even within BJP, there is a lot of people very upset? Because the wheeler dealers had no place around him. That's what anybody will tell you in Gujarat. Here is a politician, you like it or you don't, who has never appealed to caste, who has never made religious appeals ever. I've studied his speeches and I can now speak with confidence. Doesn't make regional appeals, doesn't make any group appeals, and has actually made Gujarat riot free. Gujarat, which used to witness riot after riot in decades.
That's a bit like saying Bush made.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
One sec, I haven't finished.
Go check out.
One sec, I just want to finish my sentence. Saying Modi, I'm not saying that I'm saying this, I might just be agreeing with you, but saying Modi made Gujarat riot free is a bit like saying Bush made New York 9/11 free, because after 9/11's happened, then it's happened. I mean, it's kind of late to say he's made it riot free.
It's nothing to do with Bush, but certainly to do with America's security establishment. They took measures, okay, to make it 9/11 free. It is prime target. And therefore, you have to salute the American establishment. But in this case, it's not just security establishment, it's social samrasta. Gujarat is the only state where thousands of panchayats are samras panchayats, election free. Hindus, Muslims. I have been to villages where there's only 2 Muslim families, but there's a sarpanch who's a Muslim, a very small Muslim population. I'm saying the kind of estrangement that had happened in Gujarat because of hundreds of riots that took place during Congress regimes. Caste riots, communal riots, caste riots that would be converted into communal riots.
Yeah, but we are not saying whose right is better than the other. That's not the road
I'm saying
we're going down.
That's not the... please, why are you so jumpy about it?
No, I'm not. I'm just...
You are jumpy. I'm saying a society which was deeply estranged, which was on the edge all the time, because riots would last weeks, sometimes months, curfews would last for weeks and sometimes months, hasn't seen a curfew, even when Akshardham took place. And people are no more afraid of going into each other's neighborhoods. You will see Muslim women burqa clad in Hindu neighborhoods at 2 o'clock at night.
I'm not disagreeing with you, I'm just putting another point of view
What does that show? Is he divisive? He talks of, he doesn't appeal to any group. All our other politicians are appealing to either
he is a polarizing figure. That is
who is he polarizing? He's not. He depolarized Gujarat. A few ruddy fuddies who are Lok Sabha material can't win a municipal corporation election. Are estranged. I mean,
I'm just saying.
Please,
I'm just saying it's not very credible by saying he's not polarizing. Come on.
Who has he polarized?
His
Congress, it's not polarized.
I'm not saying he's a bad man. I'm just saying he does polarize people.
Why did Rajnath Singh feel compelled to nominate him even against?
I'm not getting into the politics of it.
I'm saying, what has he done?
I'm not saying the reason behind it.
He's mobilized his party across regions.
And he's mobilized Advani into retirement.
I'm just
saying, which is a good thing. I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So nothing wrong with that.
I'm saying the wheeler dealers will be polarized against him, which is good news. The Rajya Sabha material who can't win any election will be pitched against him because they think they may not have much of a role. And those who ran this fixing politics, you know, will be. And so that polarization is very healthy. For India.
He is. Okay, now
but he doesn't polarize on religious lines. He doesn't on caste lines. He doesn't even talk about caste, region. And I think that is what inspires young people today. They are so sick of caste appeals, OBC, vote bank,
I was still young and not cynical and jaded like I am now, I might buy into that story. But right now I'm just
I think if when you visit Gujarat,
I do
you
actually
see,
quite often.
I've
spent a lot of time there. Just a last thing which I ask all our guests. Can you please, if you have one, what is your favorite news channel or newspaper?
You know, I've stopped watching TV news because it gives me a headache.
You have no idea what you're missing. But when
no,
you
no, I know what I'm missing. Headaches, heartaches.
It's
My life is more peaceful. I much prefer TV soaps now and comedy shows too. It's
when you watch TV news, which channel did you like? Any particular journalist you like?
Not anymore. I really, no, there are journalists I like still.
I'm going to ask you newspapers and print separately.
Newspaper, I can tell you, my all-time.
The first I'm asking about television, then we'll get to the newspapers.
Television? I still, you know, you know, headlines today is a shade better than many others.
Okay.
Because it's unpredictable. It's not. Most other channels are so.
You never know who he'll punch in the face.
Yeah, but Arnab has made it.
Headlines today, fine. In print, which is your favorite newspaper? Which one do you read in the morning first? Which one
my
do you like
first
least?
Newspaper always has been Indian Express.
Why?
I like it.
Okay.
I like Indian Express. And Shekhar Gupta, I'm an ardent admirer of Shekhar Gupta till I find even he tripping over Modi. I have no idea how somebody as astute as Shekhar, whose election coverage, because he's one of the few senior journalists, editors, who actually goes, sees things for himself, and he always brings fresh perspectives. And if you look at the reports he brings from Gujarat at election time,
now
they were very good.
I'm just
I'm saying, but he went overboard, he goes overboard, and you know, those are those. No, I'm saying, the reason I'm saying is that it is becoming, in some ways,
they are obsessed with Gujarat.
They are becoming obsessed,
so
and they are tripping. No, it has become a litmus test. Are you willing to do fair reporting where the interest of the
paper?
No, I told you that already, but I'm saying Express. Why somebody like Shekhar Gupta is tripping is something that is a personal disappointment. The only journalist who stayed fair without being aligned is, I think, Swaminathan Iyer.
Okay.
He has always been among my very favorite journalists, and I think whether on Gujarat or on other issues, he keeps a sense of balance.
And which newspaper do you like least? Or do you dislike?
I never read Hindustan Times. I can't stand it.
Okay, why?
I don't know. It doesn't read like a newspaper to me.
Okay.
I don't know why, but it just doesn't read, and too many ads, and I think.
Nothing to do with Gujarat, because I didn't want to go there again.
No.
Okay, great.
It's just I never read Hindustan Times.
Okay, thank you so much for your time. I promise to send you 2 suggestions at least to rename Modi now.
Gladly, I would really seriously consider them, and I sincerely appreciate your pointing it out to me and putting me on, you know.
What objective keel?
Because I'm not a, you know, about
Modi Bhakt, no. Okay.
By the way, I mean, if it's like, I don't hide the fact that I draw inspiration from Mahatma Gandhi, and yet I don't think Gandhi was always right. Okay, Gandhi is the light that I try following in my very small way, but Gandhi was very often wrong. So if I can be critical about Gandhi, who is, as I said, the light of my life, rest assured, if I find, whenever I find, whatever I find lacking in Modi, I will not hesitate. But just as I would gladly have done Jhadu Pocha for Mahatma Gandhi, and I'm sure in my previous birth I was part of his Jhadu Pocha brigade, similarly I will not hesitate to do Jhadu Pocha for Narendra Modi if I find that he really represents the positive impulses of our democracy today, and he's serious about governance reform. Rest assured, even if I find that it's only 80% true, because as I said, 16 कला संपूर्ण तो कृष्ण
भगवान भी
भगवान
नहीं
भी नहीं थे, तो फ्लॉज होंगे, तो मैं परफेक्शन की तलाश में नहीं हूँ. But if, as I said, I don't spare Gandhi,
You won't spare
despite
Modi, yeah.
being my great hero and being the emotional and moral anchor of my life, I'm not going to be kind on Modi or be embarrassed about sharing as openly as I share the good things that people are telling me. I will gladly and as unhesitatingly share whatever flaws I find, when I find, very gladly.
Thank you for your time.